Okay, so I was talking about the chromosomes. The chromosomes, the XY for men and XX for women. And I was trying to explain that for man and a woman to have a child, there must be a common platform. So when Adam as a man was created, all right, he carried the XY chromosome, and he was alone. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't, Eve, though, there wasn't a woman. So, for the sake of continuity, man must have a woman. So, God created, and according to the Bible, God took the rib. The rib, okay. Now, when you look at the DNA structure, that one and that one and that, they look like the rib on our body. Okay, they look like the rib on the human body. That's why this was referred to as the rib. So he took the rib. The chromosome is in the DNA is in the chromosome. Okay, the DNA is in the chromosome. That's what I mean. The chip. All right, written is inside these X and Y. All right, so for a woman and a man to have a child, God took the X, okay, and made it XX. Okay, now everything in the universe is based on this 2 to the power n structure, the binary structure. All right, so wherever you see this binary structure everywhere. It is on you. I mean, you just don't notice it. All right, so here we have two, 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 and the egg. When talking about the egg has also two parts, the yellow part and the white part. Okay, so everything is in two. And when you take uh, for a man and a woman, women have ovums. Ovum, that's the egg in a woman, and the egg, what you call the sperm in a man. So the sperm and the ovum must come together, and in the sperm we have, a man carrying 23 chromosomes, and the woman carrying 23 chromosomes, XX chromosomes. Okay, that's the ovum, XX chromosome, and XY chromosome from a man. Okay, so the common platform for them to have a child is XX. Okay, so woman Eve was created, by God taking, the X chromosome and duplicating, because we have this 2n to 2 to the power n structure. So we see this 1 and 2, that and that, and there you have something that looks like the rib, and it is in our DNA. Okay, now when you unfold, okay, this is usually twisted. Okay, there are two rings which are twisted, but when you unfold this, when you unfold the DNA, what you have is that. Okay, so we have a continuation of that. Okay, something like that. Okay, so you have this structure of the DNA. Okay, so you unfold it, you have that one. Okay, and we see this thing in your plaques. Everything is around us. Everything is around us. We just don't pay attention to it because our eyes have never been open to these simple things that we are all around us. Okay, now it says on you, wherever you look, on your body. Well, what is it? That one, the upper lip and the lower lip. Okay, the lower lip and the upper lip. Now when you look at your nostril, your nose, 1 and 2, your eyes, 1 and 2. Okay, your the lashes, you have the upper one and the lower one. Okay, it's the same thing, but written or shown in a different way. Okay, so we don't pay attention to all these things. I mean, you have 2 ears, okay, not 3, not 4, not 5. You have 2 ears. Okay, now when you go into the human body, your veins, the same. Okay, one carrying blood to the heart, and the other one from the heart to the other part of the body. Okay, so wherever you look, you have 2 kidneys. I mean, some organs are also doubled. Okay, now someone may say that, I mean, we have 4 chambers. The heart has 4 chambers. Yeah, that's true. Okay, and that, well, I mean, would be explained, I mean, but a bit later. But when you look at this, I mean, it's the same thing. 2, okay, to the power, the second power. Now we say 2 to the second power. When a number is written, okay, any number, let's say x, for example, to a certain power y. That's in mathematics. I mean, very simple, not difficult to understand. Okay, x to the power y. So here we say 2 to the power n. Okay, and there are, I mean, thousands of all these examples of, I mean, 2 to the power n showing itself everywhere you look. In the atom, okay, in the atom you have the electrons, I mean, arranged with like that. Okay, okay, the atom has different energy levels. Okay, but each of these energy levels has 2 electrons. Okay, 2 electrons. So wherever you look, there are, I mean, there are 2 things. Okay, man and woman, female and males. I mean, when you take the seed, okay, seeds have 2 parts. And when a seed is germinating, okay, is germinating, we see the leaves coming out. Okay, the leaves coming out. I mean, 2 leaves, okay, coming out first and foremost. Okay, yeah, everything is around us. Just open your eyes a little bit and you can see everything. Okay, so you have, I mean, 2 to the power n everywhere. Another example of 2 to the power n. Where do we see that? When we have the ovum and the sperm fertilize, first they become one entity, then they start dividing. Okay, and these 2 go into one entity. Okay, I mean, we're not talking about biology, so I'll just call it, I mean, an entity. Okay, so the 2, then from there they start dividing, first into 2, then into 4, and so on and so forth. So we have the body, the body parts, the organs being generated from the, I mean, the egg. Okay, so when you take the egg of a chicken, all right, the egg, I mean, and out of the egg we have all the organs of the body. The eyes can function, the nose, I mean, everything, I mean, functions on us as they should. Okay, so when you're talking about, I mean, creation, some people doubt that there is a creative mechanism, that everything is just happening by itself. I mean, there's no truth in that. Okay, that's why I have a lot of things. I mean, points, I would say, against, I mean, Darwin's theory of evolution. Okay, what's evolution? What is it? What's evolving from what? Okay, now, when they talk about, I mean, the source of water on the planet, and I mean, they tell us that, I mean, meteorites brought water to our planet. I mean, it sounds really funny, excuse me, and a little bit kind of stupid, right? How many, I mean, meteorites had to bombard, I mean, the planet from where? Okay, it just looks as if, I mean, water just came out, or I mean, out of nothing to our planet, brought by some, I mean, meteorites, and I mean, and that was it. That it had, I mean, no really function, I mean, a reason to be here, and it got here by accident. Okay, and how many of them? And why is it that today we don't see this thing happening? Why don't we see? I mean, was there a special place in the universe that this event took place, and now we are in a different part of the universe? So this thing is no more taking place. That the Earth is no more being bombarded. Okay. Now we know that methane. I mean, they found kind of. I mean, I think it was on Pluto or something like that. That I mean, methane was discovered. There was this sea. I mean, of methane. Why is it that we don't have that? Maybe there was something like that, but there's no proof of it that there is water, and water is a source of life on this planet. Okay, is it by accident or by a creative, I mean, mechanism? There is a reason for these, I mean, to be, so that we can have a life. And is it part of the life processing? I mean, life being on this planet is a part of that. Okay, and now when you're talking about, I mean, evolution of animals and all this story about evolution, that I mean, everything is just happening by some chance. I mean, and so why don't we have, I mean, I mean, our eyes on our bats. I mean, your hands growing somewhere else. I mean, your eyes, I mean, somewhere else on a different parts of the body. But we see a well-arranged positioning of all the things, the organs, internal organs, and the external. I mean, we're talking about external organs. Let me say the eyes, the ears. I mean, that's what the tongue, and I mean all these, I mean, other things that have external interaction. Okay, why don't we see this thing just arranged in some disorder, but there is a well-defined positioning of all the organs inside and outside the body? I mean, is there order? I mean, I talked about order, okay? Is there order in the positioning? And I mean, when you take the functions that all these organs perform, they perform different, I mean, functions. Okay, you don't see the eyes performing the function of the nose performing the functions of the tongue. These are well defined functions. Okay, functions. The heart has a defined function. Okay, it doesn't do the work of the kidney doesn't do the work of, I mean, the lungs, and each and every one of these organs have well defined functions and positions, and the interconnection between these organs. Okay, is it by accident, is it by chance, or I mean, they just evolving? And what do they mean by evolving? What's evolution? What's evolution? I mean, there's so much talk, so many books written, but why are people not asking the necessary questions? Evolution. And they cover up, they wrap all these things in the fact that it has been happening over millions of years. Millions of years. So, what is evolution? Changing from one state to another. So we move from monkeys to human beings, and from what, I mean, did monkeys evolve? I mean, well, that's left to them to decide. Okay, but I don't see. I see a well-defined pattern. Okay, where you have the chip got, I mean, written code. The chip, okay, that defines, I mean, the different organs in the body. Now, when you look at this, and I was talking about the Big Bang, okay, and when you talk about the elements in the universe, the elements on Earth, the elements, I mean, generally everywhere. When you take any one of these elements, it's the same element you find on other planets. They are not different. Okay, iron. I mean, on a planet Earth is the same iron. I mean, at the far end of space. Okay, scientists have proved that. That I mean, all the elements are the same. There's no different arrangement. Okay, yeah. So when you're talking about evolution, I mean, I'm trying to prove that Evolution is just excuse me, rubbish. Okay, evolution is rubbish. That everything is well defined. The atoms are well arranged, all according to this. Okay, and the microchip. Now, the brain. Let's take it. The brain. What's the brain? What's the brain? Now we have computers today, so we can liken, we can compare the human brain to what they have in the in your mobile, on your laptop, on your computer, and everything. What they call the CPU, the central processing unit. The central processing unit. What's the central processing unit? The central processing unit takes now it takes in information, processes it. I mean, that's where we have the interaction between man and technology. Okay, the mobile phone that you are using, man and technology. So the central processing unit, you will see something like that. Okay, sometimes I mean you have these diagrams. Okay, you have this diagram, something like that. Intel, for example, Intel Central Process CPU, Intel CPU. So you have all these information that come in and goes out. Let's say, for example, that it comes in. Okay, so you have information coming in, it's processed and given back to you. Okay, so we have this interaction between your mobile phone. I mean, you send a message to, or you give information to your mobile phone to do something, and this information is going back to you. Okay, so something appears on your screen. So the brain. Now let's take, I mean, your eye. Okay, that's okay. Now, our organs, I mean, our eyes are connected to the brain. Your tongue, your mouth, everything is connected to your brain. Okay, our ears. Now, we take in information. Information is processed by the brain. I mean, okay, our brain processes the information, and the information is, I mean, given back to you as, I mean, in a form of decision. Okay, so you can decide. So someone gives you some information, the information is stored. Okay, it's not just something that goes in and, I mean, comes out. Okay, maybe like the brain of a man. I mean, we don't listen. Okay, yeah, so not something like, I mean, that just goes in, but there is a storage, what you call memory. Yeah, something, I mean, a place where the information is stored and you can retrieve. So I mean, you can retrieve these information at any time. I mean, as long as you are alive, as long as, I mean, your memory is functioning. Okay, the information can be retrieved and processed. All right, even after many years. I mean, when you are old, I mean, and still, I mean, remember this and that, your childhood, you can still. So is it just by chance that we have this function? Okay, information coming in, our audio, this is our audio. If I mean, okay, the entrance of audio. Okay, and this audio is connected to the brain. I mean, okay, our ears connected to the brain, so there is information intake and storage and final, I mean, decision making. So you decide what to do. I mean, if you have to go to work tomorrow or not to go to work tomorrow. So that today we all living at home, working from home. Tomorrow you are told to report at work. So it's information that's given to you. You store it, I mean, in the brain and act on it. Okay, using time. I mean, time as a parameter. All right. So when morning comes, you have to report at work, so you have to go to work, or you stay at home and work from home. Okay, so that's it. I mean, about the audio. Now when you take the eyes, okay, that's our visual. So that's our audio. Okay, video, sorry, video. and audio. All right. Now, when you take, if you are going to eat, the flavor of the food, okay, makes you decide. So the scent comes in, you smell, okay, and feel, okay, the food smells good. So, it should be delicious. So, do I have to take it or not to take it? So you decide, depending on, the sight of the food and the scent. If the scent is bad, it means that you don't have to eat it. It's terrible. It can lead to, sickness or something like that. So all this interaction, we don't see, these little things as something which is working on a program. Okay, the program for the nose, the program for the tongue. Also, you taste food. Is it, tasty, not tasty, delicious, not delicious, eat or not eat it? Okay, so based on this interaction, with our organs, with our brain, we can make decisions. Okay, and this, the scent of the food, the flavor, and the taste of the food is also stored. All right. If you want to prepare this, meal tomorrow, you retrieve this from memory. So, is it by chance that we have information intake, storage, and retrieval? Everything, ordered. Okay, everything is in order. So, what are people talking about? Evolution. What's evolution? I still don't understand. When people are talking, there's something which is happening. Nothing is happening by chance. Everything is working according to a program. If the planet were to be just flying somewhere in space, you'd have left its orbit long time ago. Okay, but it's working according to a plan. There is a plan, there is a program for it, and everything in the universe originated, whether you like it or not. Everything originated. So our planet, Earth, has its own DNA. Okay, everything is from here, the 2n. Okay, so you can, increase, n can be 0, can be 0. When it is 0, you have 1. Okay, when the ovum and the sperm come together, you have 1. So at this point, n equals to 0, and any number raised to the power 0 is 1. Okay, any number raised to the power 0 is 1. So n can be 1, 0, 1, 2. So when it is 1, we have 2. So you have these 2. Okay, when it's 2, you have 4. When it's 3, you have 8. So the egg continues dividing until all the organs, so your kidney, your blood system, everything is built. Is it by chance? Is it the electrons in atoms? Whichever element you take, the arrangement is basically the same. What are you talking about when you talk about something just happening by chance? Is it in a well ordered, formulated order that we are we have on in the universe and our planet as well, and we as human beings as well? Now, when you take these very important, I was talking about water, right? Without water, there's no life on this planet. Okay, without water, there's no life on this planet. And we see the formula of water. Okay, even here you see the 2. Okay, you see 2. Which element is that? That's hydrogen. The element hydrogen and the element oxygen. These 2 come together to give us what we call water. Okay, so that's the formula, the chemical formula of water. Okay, and if you open up this, you have what? Hydrogen. Okay, that's oxygen, that one, and these 2. Okay, and you see this symmetry here. There is a symmetry. Okay, now here the same thing, you can see symmetry. When you take your body, you see the same symmetry. Okay, the same symmetry. Well, we may talk about, why do we have just the heart in one place? Well, that's according to God's creation. That's how it should be for it to function properly as one, engine. Okay, the pump. Okay, so here we can also talk about, the blood, the central blood processing unit. Okay, because the heart is the one unit that pumps the blood around the entire body to the very cells of our every entity's body. Okay, so blood is pumped around the body for for the body to function as it should. Okay, so the blood has, the body has this pump. That's the blood pump, pumping central unit. Okay, the brain is the central processing unit of the body. The eyes, the visual processing unit. Okay, because when we take in light, light goes in and the information is sent to the brain. I'm not going to talk about the receptors. All those things, I don't think they are very necessary for the ordinary person. Anybody who wants to know a little bit more, today we have internet. You can Google, or find more information about all their organs, how they function. Okay, yeah. So water is there. So we have again two elements coming together to form the basic life. That's what I call first life. First life, because out of this, every other living thing came out. Okay, so water is alive. That's why it can give life. Okay, it's alive, so it can give life. So we have, the chemical formula, all right, and the chemical structure as that: oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Okay, so are all these things by chance that if you start connecting the dot, first there must be water, there must be planet, and there must be water on the planet. Okay, for living things out of water. And water is the reservoir. Call it. That way. Is a reservoir of life. Okay, is a reservoir of life, and out of this reservoir, we have, pristine water that we can drink for plants and animals to grow. On different parts of the planet. Okay, so we can have not sea water but clean water. All right, clean, pristine water that we can drink without having any kind of problems. Okay, the sea is a different environment. Sea is different environment, and sea life is a lot different. Everybody knows that. Okay, I don't have to stress that. All right, everybody knows that this a huge reservoir. So if you are going to create life, and you know that this life is, would be based on water, you create water for the planet. Okay, not some meteorite bringing water from somewhere for no apparent reason. Okay, so for no apparent reasons, these meteorites bombarded the planet, and water came, and out of the water, life came into being. Okay, I've been wondering why scientists always leave out this God side, that God is not the creator. God, there's no God. Atheists say there's no God, and so on and so forth. Okay, and the argument some of them bring up is that if they were if God were to exist, why doesn't he interfere in that and that? Why doesn't he do this and that and that? Well, let's look at something. Why are there problems? Health issues and so on and so forth. Okay, now we are made up of different organs, as I said, and these organs are made up of different, cells and, microorganisms. Let me put it that way blindly, okay? So that we understand it a little bit better. All these, organs or cells, all these cells have different functions and they perform these functions. Just like coronavirus, COVID-19, this small thing that's destroying so many lives today is also a living entity. Okay, it's also a living entity. Now, if you have a child and you tell your child, don't put your hand into the boiling water, and he says, oh, I'm not gonna, listen to you. I'm gonna do what I like. Okay, I'm gonna do what I like because I don't want to obey you. I want to have my life. My life is my life. And you don't have any right to it. Fine, beautiful. Allow your child to put his hand into the boiling water. If he feels the pain, he'll, next time you tell your child don't not to do it, he'll listen. Okay, it's the same thing with us. We don't listen. This is our problem. We don't listen. We don't want to follow any rules. Okay, we don't want to follow any rules. We feel that, okay, my life is my life, so I want to live it the way I like. Go ahead and live it the way you like, but don't forget that you are part of a system, and whatever you do affects everybody else. Okay, so if you don't want to obey God and you feel, your life is your life, beautiful, God wouldn't interfere in your life. He gives everybody the freedom. He gives everybody the freedom. And if you behave in one way or the other, and as I said, every information about you, okay, whatever goes in is stored. Okay, and this, part of the storage. Okay, this part of the storage. So everything about you is stored. All right, either in your DNA or somewhere. That's for if you want to find out more, the brain. Okay, you have your DNA in your brain. The DNA for your eyes, your DNA for your nose, and everything. Okay, that's the combination of all the organs. Okay, and it's the same thing. When you look at the universe, one galaxy, another galaxy, and it's the same thing. All the elements, okay, that make up the galaxies are the same, and they all start from here. Okay, so the argument that is usually brought up, by atheists that there's no God, and their holy grail is, Darwin's theory that everything is happening by chance. Nothing is happening by chance. Okay, nothing is happening just like that. Everything is according to a plan. Okay, so how do we, get to this coronavirus thing? Okay, we are living on a planet that has rules. Okay, the planet has rules. The universe has rules. We human beings don't want to follow any rules. And if you don't follow any rules, what we have is death. Okay, we don't want to follow any rules. My life is my life. I want to live it anyhow I like. And we do all kinds of things. When you talk about countries, all these powers bombing anyhow, and destroying lives. If you remember this cartoon, okay, cartoon Monster Incorporated, okay, where they collect the noise when they frighten, they scare children. They collect the noise that is generated by children, okay, and they use this energy to power their electrical stations. Okay, it's the same thing. It's the real thing that's happening. Okay, when these powers bomb each other, when we kill each other, and we have people suffering, the suffering comes to us in a different way, and we are all part of the same system. And if one part is generating suffering, this suffering, the wave spreads. Okay, and today the planet is reacting. Well, there are conspiracy theories, whether, I mean, whatever it is, conspiracy theory. Let it be a conspiracy theory that someone is the organizer of, I mean, what is happening. True or false, that's left to them to decide. I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, but generally speaking, all our actions, whatever we do, they come back to us. Okay, today or tomorrow, or I mean years later, to us, to our children, to our great I mean grandchildren. Now, someone may raise the argument. Okay, I've heard a number of such arguments raised by people. Why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to pay for what my grandparents did? Now, let's say that, I mean, your grandparents, I mean, leave you $1 million, right? And you are spending this money and thinking you have a good life because your grandparents, whether your grandparents, I mean, made the money genuinely, or I mean, they stole the money from someone, and I mean, using all kinds of means, and this money is left to you, and you are spending, you are enjoying it. Okay, it's the same thing. I mean, yeah, whatever they leave behind is what you enjoy, and some of that, I mean, comes to you in one way or the other. Okay, so whatever we do, the repercussions are always there. Okay, whether, I mean, we like it or not, the information is taught, all right, about us, our actions, our behavior. So coronavirus today, my piece of advice on this note, I mean, before I wind out, my piece of advice is that there is God. He's there. God is never far away from us. We are far from God. God is never far away. God is always around. He's always around us. He is not far away from us. We are far from God. Okay? We are far from God because we don't want to listen. We don't want to follow, I mean, any advice. We don't want to do anything in line with his dictates, the rules of nature. Okay? And so we have problems in life. I'm not saying I don't have any problems, but we must, I mean, align ourselves with, I mean, the rules of life. Okay. Now let me, I mean, come to one thing that one song by Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton, I think she's called. I watched this video the other time, and she was calling on God. Okay, pleading, beseeching him for help. God listens, he hears you. Okay, very simple. Everybody can talk to God. Church is not the place to go. Let me tell you, I mean, whether you like it or not, you like me, you don't like me, that's, I mean, up to you. Okay, but I'll tell you frankly, and he said it, I'm not saying it, God said it. Church is not the place. If you want to talk to him, it's between you and him, not, I mean, through the pastor. You don't go to the pastor. I mean, it's just like you asking the pastor to eat for you. You're asking the pastor to eat for you. How can somebody pray for me? You have to pray. You have to call. He's your father. You have to talk to him by yourself. Not, I mean, asking, I mean, the pastor to talk. Go and tell him, I mean, my problems because I am shy. And the pastor only wants your money. Okay? The pastor wants your money. He's not interested in what, I mean, you are telling God. He's only interested in making money. So I mean, he collects your money and he buys his expensive cars. I mean, you see the fleet of cars, I mean, the aeroplanes, their big houses, and someone was saying the other time that you have to, I mean, give money to God. God doesn't need your money. Who made gold and, I mean, all the riches, the minerals in the earth? Who made all these things? I mean, God doesn't need your money. Stop giving your money to these guys. They are fraudsters. They are, I mean, thieves. Okay, clothing, themselves in the name of God, wrapping themselves in the, name of God, calling the name of God to make money. They're just using the name of God to make money. So forget about these, priests, these churches. If you want to talk to God, talk to God. Okay, very simple. You have to clean yourself. If you go to the loo, if you go to the toilet, or any other, such place, you have to clean yourself. Okay, you wash yourself and get a clean place without any object, no tables, no chairs, nothing at all. Okay, you face the east. Okay, you wear something clean, you face the east, you raise your hand because you are asking him for something. Okay, you raise your hand, you don't close your eyes. You don't close your eyes. Okay, you raise your hand, open your eyes, and talk to him. You alone, not in a crowd. You alone, because you came to this planet alone and you are leaving the planet alone. Even if you came as twins or triplets, you are going to leave this planet alone. So build your relationship, what I call plugging in. You are plugging into the universal energy system. When you're talking to God, you are plugging, you are sending a message, okay, to God. You are plugging your internal energy to the universal energy system. You're talking to God because he is everywhere, he's listening. And your angels, everybody came to this planet, has a file up there in heaven. Okay, we'll talk about heaven. That's a different topic. Everybody has a file up, out there in heaven. So, whatever you're saying is, put on your file. Okay, so you send, you get connected to this universal energy system. Okay, the God system. That's He is the universe. He is everything. Okay, so you plug into this system and he listens to everybody. He's just waiting for you to talk to him. Okay, he talks to us, but sometimes we are too busy looking for money, so we don't pay attention to that. Okay, we are too busy looking for money, so we don't pay attention. So you talk to him, you tell him whatever you want to say, he listens. Okay, so stop going to churches. Churches will confuse you because they don't understand the first thing about the Bible. Okay, Anton reads one part of the Bible. He says, "Oh, I understand this part." The other guy, A, B, C, D, E. Or so we have this huge, division. Everybody is reading one part of the Bible and says, "I understand." Now, the chromosome, which was, mentioned earlier. Okay. Now, nobody will tell you. Nobody will explain that what they are talking about, the rib. Okay, that God took the rib of Adam. Okay, the rib of Adam, and this one is in the rib. Go, to the internet. You can find all the information about the DNA and the chromosome. DNA and chromosome. Find out, some information for yourself. So this is the rib that, when you look at this, they look like, the rib on our bodies. Okay, so the rib is in the chromosome. Okay, so the X chromosome, the Y chromosome. So God took the rib and created, okay, X, and created XX. So there is X from the man, then there's, let's say, X or Y from the woman. So there can be only two combinations, X, Y, and you have a boy, or XX, and you have a girl. Okay, so these combinations give different sexes. Okay, boy or girl. So everything is according to a program, and the program is also based, okay, everything is written on this. So the universe has its own DNA based on this is the template. Okay, the 2n is a template for creation. So whichever element we have here on the earth is the same element. If you go to the end of the universe, wherever you go, Jupiter, I mean Saturn, I mean all all the elements in the universe are from the same source, and the source has this template, okay, the 2n template. Okay, so everything here is, I mean, binary. Okay, everything is binary. Now, the issue of God. The issue of God is another topic I'll be looking at, in my next video. Okay, so for now, bye and take care of yourself. Okay, stay at home. I'm staying at home. Okay, I'm not working now. I do something from time to time, to earn some little money. Okay, so I am staying at home, and I will advise you as well to stay at home. Coronavirus is serious, and you have to take it seriously. Stay at home, stay fit, stay healthy. All the best for now.